and home soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Askew. Now being 2 p.m, we'll move to questions, and I call Senator Askew.
My question is to the Minister representing the Treasurer, Senator Gallagher. How much extra will an average mortgage holder be paying in monthly repayments as a result of the recent interest rate increases?
Minister.
Thank you, Madam President. No, we went to this yesterday, I think, in question time, but I'm happy to repeat it. Essentially, depending on the loan, the size of the loan, people will be paying a couple of $100 extra a month in payments. Well, I can go exactly to it if you want to break it down. And, of course, these increases that they'll be paying are on top of the increases that have occurred over recent months when the RBA started increasing interest rates on the 1st of May. If you'd like it by state or by size of mortgage, I can give it to you. But essentially the cumulative increase in monthly repayments for average mortgage holder in New South Wales is, I think, about $330 extra per month. But there is significant impact on households, no doubt. And we know this stings households, absolutely. But we are living in a high inflationary environment, and the RBA is increasing interest rates. They are increasing interest rates to deal with higher inflationary costs across the economy. And the factors that led to this have occurred prior to the last election. Prior to the last election, the factors that are leading to this, we inherited an economy with an inflation issue and rising interest rates. And these are hitting mortgage holders, without a doubt. And that's why our economic plan is more important than ever, to invest in the productive side of the economy, to put downward pressure on cost of living impacts for households.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Askew, first supplementary.
Minister, on top of the cost of interest rate increases, how much extra will it cost a family to fill a 60-litre tank of petrol once the government ends the reduction in fuel excise?
Minister.
So,
Order. Senator Wong. Senator Searle. Senator Searle and Senator Wong. Minister.
Thank you, President. And talk about leading with your chin again. This is a policy that the former government put in place to expire. The former Treasurer saying it was targeted and temporary, and made it very clear because of the significant cost to a budget that is already heaving with $1 trillion in Liberal debt.
Senator Askew.
On relevance, it was actually a question about a dollar figure. It wasn't asking about consideration of previous policy.
Thank you, Senator Askew. The Minister is being relevant to the question, but I'll continue to listen and ensure that relevance continues. Minister.
Thank you. And the former government, at the time when they designed the policy to be a 6-month exemption, noted the significant cost to the budget, $3 billion over a 6-month period, which I've heard Senator Hume talking about the need to be fiscally responsible, while on the other side, and depending on who you're talking to in the coalition, it's all about spending more and adding more to the budget problems that we have inherited. The petrol excise changes were for 6 months. The budget cannot afford to continue these concessions at a time when we are dealing with the increasing cost of—
Senator Askew, second supplementary. Senator Searle. Senator Searle. Senator Askew.
Thank you. The Albanese government was elected on grand promises to fix the cost of living. What precisely is the government's plan to help senior Australians, young Australians and Australian families, including the majority who do not have children in childcare, with the cost of living?
What's the plan?
Thank you, Senator Askew. Minister.
Thank you, and I welcome the opportunity to talk about Labor's economic plan. Our plan is a comprehensive plan. A comprehensive plan that does include cheaper childcare for 1.2 million
please
families.
resume your seat. Order. Order. Minister Wong. Minister Wong. I'm waiting for quiet from both sides of the chamber. Minister, please resume.
Thank you, President. Labor's economic plan is about making sensible investments into the productive capacity of the economy, including cheaper childcare for 1.2 million families. It is important. Talk to anyone with children. That is a huge impact on your household budget. So that is what we are doing.
Minister,
cheaper
resume your
medicines.
seat. Senator Watt. Senator Watt. That's disorderly to make comments across the chamber. Order on my left. Senator Henderson. Minister.
Thank you. For those families without children, but this helps for families with children as well, cheaper medicines, for skills and training, helping those with children and those without children, free TAFE and more uni places, investing in cleaner and cheaper energy, again, helping all households across Australia. This is the core parts of Labor's economic plan, and we'll be implementing it as quickly as we can.
Minister, your time has expired. Senator Sheldon.
Good, thank you, President. My question is to the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Senator Wong. Can the Minister outline steps the government is taking to assure Australia's security?
Minister.
Thank you. I thank the Minister. I thank the Senator for his question and for his interest in international relations and foreign affairs and security. And today, the Prime Minister and the Defence Minister announced details of the Defence Strategic Review. In 2020, the Defence Strategic Update identified that changes in Australia's strategic environment were accelerating far more rapidly than was predicted in the 2012 Force Posture Review. So to meet these challenges, the Defence Strategic Review, which was announced today, will examine force structure, force posture and preparedness. It will also examine investment prioritisation. And the objective, which I would hope is shared across the chamber, is to ensure that the Defence Force, Australian Defence Force, has the right capabilities to meet the growing strategic needs Australia faces. The government has appointed two eminent leads to conduct the review, the former Minister for Defence and for Foreign Affairs, Professor the Honourable Stephen Smith, and the former CDF, Air Chief Marshal Sir Angus Houston, retired. This work will help ensure that the ADF is well positioned to meet the security challenges we face over the next decade and beyond. You see, the Albanese government understands well that Australia's security in a more complex and contested world means we have to use all elements of state power, and we have to ensure all elements of state power are fit for purpose, that is strategic, economic, social and diplomatic. And the purpose, of course, is always the advancement of Australian interest and Australian values. Unfortunately, we do know there was a great deal of damage done to Australia's international relationships by the previous government, but we have made a strong start. We have made a strong start.
Order.
We have made a strong start since the change of government.
Minister, your time has expired. Senator Sheldon, first supplementary.
Good. Thank you, Minister, for a comprehensive answer. Can the Minister outline the government's engagement with regional partners, including ASEAN?
Minister.
Thank you, and I again thank the Senator for a very important question. And of course, Southeast Asia and the focus on Southeast Asia is just so important for Australia's security, and something that we on this side of the chamber have always understood. we have always understood, and which is why if you look at the history of government in this country, it is Labor governments which have brought such a strong focus to Southeast Asia. We recognise on this side of the chamber that our future is tied to the future of the region we share. So deepening our partnership with ASEAN is one of my top priorities as Foreign Minister. Australia's interests lie in shaping a strategic equilibrium in the region, where countries are not forced to choose but can make their own sovereign choices, and ASEAN is central to that. I am today departing for Phnom Penh for ASEAN meetings. A junket. Well, I'll take that interjection. It shows the disrespect for ASEAN and the importance of security in our region from the other side. And I suggest you should speak to Senator Birmingham about that interjection.
Order. Your time has expired, Minister. Senator Sheldon, second supplementary.
How is the government working to shape a region that is peaceful and predictable, and where disputes are not simply guided by power and size?
Minister.
Thank you to the Senator for the supplementary, and he phrases the question in a way that is really important. Others have described it differently. We want a region that is non-hegemonic. We want a region where sovereignty is protected. But it is in Australia's interest, and this I do think is a bipartisan objective, even if how we get there we may differ on. We want a region where disputes are not simply guided by power and size. And central to that is working with the countries of our region, including ASEAN, as well as the Pacific, ensuring we have relationships that are deep and trusting, and relationships where we are able to be a partner of choice. Partnerships matter because it's how we build the kind of region we want. It's how we build the kind of region that serves, that is in accordance with the interests of the Australian people and the interests of the nation. A region at peace, not in conflict, which is why we will continue to work with partners to promote peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Dean Smith.
Thank you very much, Madam President. My question is to the Minister representing the Treasurer, Senator Gallagher. Will the level of government spending in the Albanese government's first budget be higher or lower than was projected in the pre-election fiscal outlook?
Minister.
You'll have to wait and see.
Order. Order.
Thank you.
Order.
Thank you.
I'm going to wait for quiet on both sides. Order. Minister.
Thank you, President. The short answer to the question from Senator Smith, and I thank him for the question, is you'll have to wait and see. That's what happens when you're in opposition. The budget will be published. The budget will be published, and you will be able to see. Well, I think anybody who followed Labor's very comprehensive fiscal
Senator
plan.
McGrath and Hughes.
Labor's plan for a better budget, better future, better budget, better future.
Minister, please resume your seat. Order. Order. I'm aware that you're standing, Senator Smith. I'm waiting for quiet. Senator Smith.
Point of order, Madam President. Standing Order 211. I'm just wondering whether Senator Gallagher could let us know how many pages are in the plan.
I think
how many pages?
That might be a supplementary question you may wish to pursue, Senator Smith. Minister, please continue. Thank you. Senator Smith, that was tried in the campaign. It didn't go very far, I must say. It's more about the content, I think, than the number of pages. And this was a very successful plan that we outlined. Very successful, as evidenced by this. That's how successful this plan was. The budget will be released in the normal way with the papers that accompany it. And I would say, in respect to, because I do respect Senator Smith, we are going through a process which we've been quite clear about of looking at previous budget measures from the March budget about which ones of those should go ahead, which ones might not need to go ahead. We're looking at savings where they can be sensibly found. We're implementing our savings on consultants and contractors. The audit of waste and rorts, indeed, that we are looking at, and we're going through it program by program with a big red pen. And we are looking. Well, we are going to be fiscally responsible. We are not going to be the vandals that you were, where you would just get huge billions of dollars and go, you know what?
Order.
Barnaby Joyce wants some money somewhere, so
Order.
here we go. We'll chuck it over there. We'll chuck it over here. We're building better regions funds. Oh, sorry, Barnaby, here's some more money.
Minister,
we're not going to do that.
Minister,
we're not going to do it. It's not right.
Resume your seat. Senator Henderson.
Madam President, on a point of order, could I ask
Just a moment. Thank you, Senator Henderson. Thank you, Senator Henderson.
Madam President, on a point of order, could I ask the Minister to refer to members by their proper name? Thank you.
I will draw that to the Minister's attention. Thank you, Senator Henderson. I remind all senators that people in this chamber and the other chamber need to be referred to by their correct titles. Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And the point I was making is that we will be fiscally responsible. We want to build a budget for a better future for Australia.
Your time has expired. Senator Smith, first supplementary.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Will decisions of the Albanese government in its first budget add, in net terms, to government spending and debt, or reduce government spending and debt?
Thank you, Senator Smith. Minister.
Thank you. Well, as we've been clear.
Order. Order. Minister, resume your seat. Minister Wong, Senator Wong and Senator Henderson, exchanges across the chamber are disorderly. And I beg your pardon if it wasn't you, but it is very hard with the level of noise to work out who is making the noise. But comments across the chamber are disorderly. Minister.
Thank you. Well, the answer to that question is contingent on a number of decisions that are yet to be made. But through the budget. Well, what do you expect? Well, I'm being honest with you.
Minister,
I'm being honest.
Resume your seat, please. Senator Bilyk.
Huge trouble hearing Senator Gallagher's wonderful response. So could you?
Thank you, Senator Bilyk. I'm trying my very best, which is why I keep sitting the minister down, sadly. Order. Order. I'm sure that Senator Wong and Birmingham. Right, Minister, please continue.
Thank you. That's the very clear answer is the decisions that will be made to answer his question are going to be made during the budget process, which we are underway now. But I can tell you that it will end the rorts, it will end the waste, it will make the savings we promised in reducing advertising. Remember all those advertising campaigns that were they were always ready to go before the actual programs were ready. They were out the door pretty quickly. We will. The budget will be handed down the 25th of October.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Smith, second supplementary.
Thank you, Madam President. If government spending will be higher, and I notice that Senator Gallagher didn't rule that out, if spending will be higher under the Albanese government, won't this see fiscal policy work against monetary policy and mean that the Albanese government spending will place further upward pressure on interest rates?
I'm not going to call the minister until there is quiet. Senator McGrath and Senator Wong. I'm waiting. Minister.
President, no, I think they've set Senator Smith up here because, on the one hand, we're being had arguments to spend $3 billion more over 6 months for petrol excise, and on the other hand, I'm being asked about if we're spending
Minister,
more, whether it's going to be pressure on interest rates.
Please resume your seat. Senator Dean Smith.
Thank you, Madam President. Standing Order 211, I was very, very specific. I wanted to know whether or not there was a risk that the government spending would mean that its monetary policy would end up working against fiscal policy.
Thank you, Senator Smith. I believe that the minister is being directly relevant, but let's continue with her response. Thank you, Minister.
Thank you, President. Well, the opposition's policies would be working against monetary policy, I have to say, or as I understand them, and I'm not sure who's got the power at the moment. But this question comes from the highest spending, highest borrowing government in Australia's history. That's what you guys were. That's what you guys were. My job is to try and fix that. My job is to try and fix that,
Order.
rebalance the budget, end the rorts, tidy up the waste, get rid of the waste, find the savings where I can find them and invest in the productive side of the economy, which is absolutely in line, hand in hand with monetary policy. If you are investing in the productive side of the economy and putting downward pressure on inflation and the interest rates that we inherited from you lot.
Thank you, Minister. Before I call you, Senator Hanson-Young, order. I would like to acknowledge that we have Minister Ubio from the Northern Territory, who's the Minister for Indigenous Affairs, in the gallery. So welcome. Senator Hanson-Young.
Thank you, President. My question is to Minister Wong, representing both the Prime Minister and the Minister for Water. 450 gigalitres of water was promised under the Murray-Darling Basin Plan for South Australia and the environment, but the Liberal National Party have monumentally stuffed up the delivery of this water at the expense of taxpayers and the health of the river. In the election campaign, the Albanese government promised and committed to delivering the 450 on time and in full. Is this still your government's commitment?
Minister.
Thank you, President. I thank Senator Hanson-Young for the question. And I think one thing that we can all say is that every South Australian in this chamber should, and certainly those on this side of the chamber, and I include yourself in that.
Order.
I'm sorry?
Senator Wong, address your comments to the chair, please.
Well, I am a senator for South Australia, and so Senator Hanson-Young, I apologise for the Constitution,
Senator Wong.
But I mean, the reality is this: that we had the Minister for Environment and Water tabled the second review of Water for the Environment Special Account Report, and just like the member for Hume, who hid a price rise for electricity, this was also hidden to the Australian people before the election. And you know why? You know why? Because what it showed is the decade of sabotage that those opposite have engaged in when it comes to the Murray-Darling Basin Plan. They promised 450 gigs. You know how many they delivered? Two out of 450. 2 out of 450, and we know why, because they never wanted to deliver it. They never wanted to deliver it. Well, never wanted to deliver it, and we know that because the National Party are still saying that and
Senator
came into the chamber whilst in government, and tried to blow up the Murray-Darling Plan. Now, I invite Senator Birmingham, as the most senior South Australian, to rein in. I will get to it. To rein in those on that side who continue to want to sabotage this important reform. We have made clear Labor is committed to delivering the Basin Plan in full. It's what we signed up for, and the minister has made it clear that remains the approach. But I would say this: it has become a great deal harder now that it has been disclosed that you delivered 2 out of 450. Why did you think that was okay? Why did they think it was okay to hide that before the election? No, I'm not surprised you take a point of order.
Please resume your seat. Senator Davey, wait.
Point of order.
Senator Davey, wait until you're called. Senator Davey.
Thank you, Madam President. Point of order. Senator Wong is actually misleading the chamber with her claims that only 2 gigalitres was recovered when 23.3
Senator Davey. Please resume your seat. Minister.
The State of the Environment report makes it clear that 2 out of 450 was delivered.
Senator Hanson-Young, first supplementary.
Thank you, Madam President. I note that the minister did not answer the question about on time. Given the legal requirement to deliver the 450, given the promise to South Australians, what is the government's plan to make sure that 450 gigalitres is delivered, is used to save the river and not stolen by those upstream?
Thank you, Senator Hanson-Young. Minister.
Thank you, President. And I again hear the interjections from the National Party, and we wonder why a coalition never delivered on this. And I do remember when I was Water Minister and I bought a lot of water, how angry they were that we actually bought water for the environment from willing sellers.
Order.
Oh my goodness, isn't it dreadful to use a market to deliver an environmental and a social outcome? I mean, it's
Senator
a dreadful
Wong.
thing, isn't it, to actually
Order. I am unable to hear Senator Wong's response. Please remain quiet and show courtesy. Thank you, Minister.
The Minister for the Environment and Water confirmed yesterday she has written to and is speaking to basin water ministers, because obviously we have to work with the states in order to deliver this. Minister Plibersek has also tasked her department to consult widely on creative and collaborative approaches on how we can deliver the plan in full. And I say this, nothing is off the table, including voluntary buybacks. Because it is clear, it is clear that the approach that was taken on the other side did not work.
Thank you, Minister. Your time has expired. Senator Hanson-Young, second supplementary.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm very pleased to hear that voluntary buybacks are on the table, because it is clear from the government's own report that this is the only way 450 gigalitres will be returned to the river. Will the government commit to working with South Australia, the South Australian government and the South Australian people to make sure it is delivered?
Thank you, Senator Hanson-Young. Senator Mackenzie. Minister.
Thank you, President. Thank you to Senator Hanson-Young for her question. And I just might pick up two parts of her question. She talks about the need to change the policy settings effectively, and she's right. The report says, the report that was commissioned by your government, which you hid prior to the election, says that these targets cannot be met under the settings that you put in place. Shame. You can't meet it under the settings you put in place. Now, it's the easiest thing, isn't it, for a politician to go to upstream and downstream and say different things to different communities and pretend they're going to do something. At least tell people the truth. I accept you don't agree. I accept you don't agree with our position. So I am
Senator Henderson.
Rise and draw to your attention the need for Senator Wong to direct her comments through the chair. Thanks very much, Madam President.
Senator Henderson, I would also draw to the chamber's attention the general disorderly conduct in here. So I would ask all senators to be courteous to one another, and I would just remind senators that comments are directed to the chair. Senator Wong, please continue.
Fair enough. I do like to respond to the misinformation that's provided by the National Party, and I shouldn't take the bait, because they've been doing it for years. They've been pretending for years. The report indicates there are not enough off-farm projects to reach the 450 gigs, even with unlimited time and money. So clearly, Minister, a different approach has to be taken.
Senator White.
President, this is not my first speech, but it is my first question. My question is to the Minister representing the Treasurer, Senator Gallagher. Can the Minister outline the findings of the Productivity Commission's inquiry, 5-year productivity inquiry, the Key to Prosperity interim report that has been released today?
Good question. Minister Gallagher.
Thank you, President, and I congratulate Senator White on her first question, and thank you. And it's an honour to be the answerer of your first question. The report out today paints a dismal picture of recent productivity growth. Over the last decade, growth has been the slowest in more than a century. Yeah, no surprises there. Gross national income was $4,600 lower per person than what it could have been if productivity growth was in line with the long-term average. This is important because 80% of income growth in the past 3 decades has come from productivity gains. So we should not be surprised, sadly, that the past decade that we've seen with real wages is largely due to the poor decade we've also had on productivity. The report said very clearly almost all sustained increases in real wages are underpinned by improvements in labour productivity growth. And being more productive means Australians can consume higher quality and access new goods and services. Getting productivity moving again is a huge challenge that has been neglected under those opposite, and it's a challenge that we take seriously, which is why Labor's economic plan is so important. Investments into the productive side of the economy, the productivity agenda is at the heart of our economic plan. Childcare reform, skills and advanced manufacturing, and of course the opportunities that are going to come in the energy sector. The report is yet another
Senator
scathing
Henderson.
assessment of the former government's failure to drive reform or grab the opportunities for jobs and growth that they should have, and Australians have paid an enormous price for that.
Thank you, Minister. Senator White, first supplementary.
Can the Minister advise the Senate on what has caused the slow pace of productivity growth as outlined in the report?
Minister.
It's very, very quiet over there on the opposition benches. The Productivity Committee's report states that most OECD countries—
Order on both sides, Minister.
Thank you. You should ignore me. I don't know about that.
Minister.
The Productivity Commission's report states that most OECD countries have experienced a productivity slowdown. However, we know that the productivity challenges we face have been made worse by a decade of wasted opportunities and wrong priorities of those opposite. And there is no starker example of this than the Coalition's wasted decade on energy. 22 different energy policies over their term in government. It's seen the opportunities for investment, innovation and jobs go begging. We paid the price for that. This really was the Morrison government, a government that spent more, borrowed more and delivered less, including in the productivity agenda, which has been outlined
Thank you, Minister.
in the public
Your time
release
has
today.
expired. Senator White, second supplementary.
Can the Minister further advise the Senate what the government's plans are to boost productivity in the Australian economy?
Minister.
Thank you. President. Yes, I can. Thank you, Senator White, for the question. The Albanese government's economic plan is a plan to boost productivity, take the speed limit off the economy and create the right kind of growth. It will be a key focus of our upcoming Jobs and Skills Summit. Our plans include investing in cleaner and cheaper energy, better training our workforce through fee-free TAFE and more university places, investing in cheaper childcare, boosting GDP through higher workforce participation, upgrading the NBN to begin capturing the digital economic opportunities, creating a future made in Australia, President, with procurement and co-investment plans through the National Reconstruction Fund to stimulate billions of dollars in private investment, and this is in line and in step with the direction of the PC's report released today.
Senator Hanson.
Thank you. My question is to the Minister representing the Prime Minister, Senator Wong. We are constantly hearing from businesses, farmers and industries that they can't get workers. In the meantime, almost 950,000 people are collecting unemployment benefits. Something has to give, and the answer is not higher immigration, which will only put a greater burden on our hospitals, doctors, schools, nursing homes, roads and infrastructure, especially housing. How do you intend to address this crippling shortage of workers?
Thank you, Senator Hanson. Minister.
Thank you to Senator Hanson for the question, and she is right that labour shortages and skill shortages are identified by many in the private sector, by the private sector, by business leaders as being a handbrake on the economy and on the profitability of many businesses, and we know that from the data, and we also know that if you go and talk to small and medium enterprises as well as to business leaders. Obviously, there is no quick fix to this. The first point is, well, obviously, what the government can do is to implement its policies, which include in establishing fee-free TAFE places in areas of school shortages, additional university places, to try and ensure we give Australians the skills that are needed for the jobs of today and tomorrow. So, that is a very important part of our investment in people. The Senator raises migration. The view the Labor government takes is you have to address labour shortages through a balanced approach, which includes efforts to train and upskill Australian workers, but also recognises that there is a place for migration, whether that's permanent migration or other forms of migration. From Labor's perspective, we don't want to see a situation where, as it was under the previous government, migration is used as a stopgap, as a fill-in, as a way of dealing with a skill shortage, which in great part arose because there was a failure to properly fund and support Australians to get the skills that are required. Equally, with the Labor Party, we don't want workers being exploited, and you might recall in the previous parliament there was quite a lot of focus on the exploitation of migrant workers, particularly in the agricultural and other areas. So my answer is a balanced approach. Obviously, our priority
Thank you, Minister.
is
Your
to
time
invest
has
in the
expired.
skills of
Senator Hanson, first supplementary.
Thank you. Well, actually, Minister, I do have a quick fix for you. With thousands of people having been on long-term unemployment benefits for decades, even passing it on as a family tradition, will you move legislation to ensure that no one can receive unlimited dole payments for more than 2 years out of 5 if they are capable of doing a day's work?
Minister.
Thank you to Senator Hanson, and obviously I'm sure the Minister, representing the Minister for Social Security might be able to, or Employment and Workplace Relations, might be able to provide a more detailed answer on mutual obligation. Both parties of government at different times and have had different approaches, but have obligations frameworks in relation to receipt of social security benefits. That is obviously an approach that is taken, bearing in mind the need to be sensible and balanced and responsible through that. I would make the point that actually at the moment we do have a participation rate that is quite high. So the participation rate is at 66.8% and the employment to population ratio is at 64.4%. So actually there are a great many Australians who are participating in the economy and are participating in the labour market.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Minister. Senator Hanson, second supplementary.
Minister, this is why I've asked the question of the Prime Minister. In the lead up to the election, he said he had answers for these problems with Australian people. So this is why I want a direct answer from the Prime Minister with regards to this through you. We have a vast untapped workforce of older Australians on the age pension with more than willing to work to supplement their income in these difficult times. Will you legislate for age pensioners to be able to take on more work without penalty to their benefits and give independent retirees who are no burden on the taxpayer the same opportunities to fill our critical work shortages?
Thank you, Senator Hanson. Minister.
Thank you, Senator Hanson. Well, I will ensure I'll answer what I can, and I'll ensure that if there is more information that can be provided to you, that it is provided to you. I was a member of a government previously which put in place the work bonus in 2009 for precisely the reasons that you outlined, that there were people who wanted to do more work without it affecting their pension, and there is obviously a disincentive, just as there is in relation to childcare, but it's a slightly different issue, a disincentive for pensioners to work if it was going to affect their income. So when last in government we did introduce measures which enable people to earn more before their pension was affected. I think that obviously the jobs and the summit that is the Jobs and Skills Summit, so actually having people talk to each other sometimes isn't a bad idea. I know that seems
Minister,
unusual.
your time has expired.
Thank you.
Senator Henderson.
Thank you, Madam President. My question is to the Minister representing the Treasurer, Senator Gallagher. I refer to the Treasurer's statement that you will be going through the budget line by line and making sure that spending is about building value and not buying votes. In light of this, will the government be honouring its pre-election promise to spend $20,000 building a frog bog at Malmesbury Primary School, announced in the Labor electorate of Bendigo just 15 days before the election?
Minister.
Thank you, President. I'm trying to drop the madam, and I thank Senator Henderson for the question. And I thank her.
Minister, please resume your seat. Senator Henderson has asked a specific question which the Minister has stood to answer, and there's disorderly calling out on both sides of the chamber, Senator Sterle. Order. Minister.
President, and I thank Senator Henderson for the question and for reminding the chamber of the fiscally responsible way that we are going about managing a broken budget, heaving with $1 trillion in Liberal debt after we inherited a budget from a government that had spent more, borrowed more and delivered less than any other government.
Minister, please resume your seat. I'm waiting for your own side, Senator Henderson, to be quiet so I can ask you your... I'm assuming it's a point of order?
Yes, it is. I'm waiting
ahead.
for you to give me the call.
Yeah, I'm waiting. Yes, Senator Henderson.
Thank you very much, Madam President. On a point of order, direct relevance, it was a very specific question relating to a pre-election promise to spend $20,000 building a frog bog. Yes or no? Will that be delivered?
Thank you,
and
Senator
including,
Henderson.
is it fiscally responsible?
Voted for it makes it okay.
Thank you, Senator Henderson. Order. 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 Senator McGrath. Minister, please resume your seat. Senator Henderson has raised a point of order. She is entitled to a response. You did ask a general question. You talked about line by line, and then you asked specifically in relation to a budget measure at a particular school. So the minister is being relevant. Minister.
Thank you, President. And I will get to the substance of the question, but as you said, the senator did go to the fact that we are auditing the budget and going through it line by line, and it is really important work. It's essential work if we are going to reprioritise within existing funding to shift the budget from political buy-offs that plagued the previous government. Well,
order.
The member for New England seemed to get a lot of attention. The price of net zero wasn't zero, was it, Senator Birmingham? No, and we saw that in the budget with billions of dollars. The government made a range of election commitments. They're all contained in this plan, which I'm sure you all have, because it's a very, very successful plan that we took to the last election. The election commitments, as outlined in this plan.
Senator Henderson.
Madam President, I regret to have to raise a point of order on direct relevance again. It was a question specifically about whether the frog bog, whether it's fiscally responsible,
Senator
is very questionable.
Please resume your seat. There is no point of order. It was an order. Senator Sterle. Order. The minister is being relevant. Minister.
Thank you. This document, which outlined all of our election commitments and their fiscal impact, are contained in this document, and it is the government's intention, as the Prime Minister has said on a number of occasions, to do what we promised we would do before the election if we were successful. So the answer to that is where we have made election commitments, we will be delivering on them.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Henderson, first supplementary.
I again refer to the Treasurer's statement that you will be making sure that spending is about building value, not buying votes, and I'm quite confused by the last response because it sounds like the minister is contradicting herself. 1 minute it's assessing and the next minute it's— I'm sorry, Minister, I haven't finished my question. There's no point of order. I haven't finished my question.
Resume your seat. Senator Henderson, please sit down. Order. Order. Minister. Senator Watt.
We've been there.
Order.
I know it is hard.
Senator Wong.
That is not a question. The standing orders don't contemplate a speech instead of questions.
Senator Birmingham.
The point of order, President. Earlier this week, President, you provided some advice to the chamber in relation to supplementary questions, having been asked to do so by Senator Wong and those opposite. In that advice, you did encourage those making supplementary questions to ensure their supplementary question drew a link to the answer that was provided previously, which is precisely what Senator Henderson was just doing.
Senator Wong, I'm going to rule on the point of order unless there's a different point that you wish to make.
Point of order. I'm not sure that the confused state of the senator's mind, as she described it, her state of confusion, is something that is necessarily an important part of a question.
Thank you. I draw Senator Henderson. Please resume your seat. Unless it's an entirely different point of order, which I will come to after I've ruled on your first point of order. So I haven't yet ruled on your first point of order, so please resume your seat.
The point of order.
I said I would come to that after I've ruled on this point of order. I draw Senator's attention to Rules for Questions 106, which simply say, and this has been reinforced by a number of presidents, that questions should not be prefaced by a statement. Senator Henderson, you have a second point of order.
In relation to Senator Wong's derogatory statement about my state of mind...
Senator Henderson, there was no point
yes,
of order there.
Sorry, could I make the point of order,
no,
Madam President?
I've ruled on it. There is no point of order. Please resume your seat. Please resume your... May I also remind senators, please resume your seat, that points of order are not opportunities for group discussions. That was Senator Parry. Please resume your seat. Senator Henderson, I'm not entertaining a point of order. Senator Henderson, may I draw your attention to the fact that I am the President of the Senate, not you, and that when I ask you to resume your seat, that is what I expect to happen, and I don't expect you to continue to try and debate an issue. Minister.
Madam President, I thought I was referencing Senator Henderson describing herself as being confused by the minister's answer, but if it was offensive to her, I'm very happy to withdraw.
Minute. No. Thank you, Senator Henderson. Please resume your seat. Senator Henderson, I've just drawn to your attention that it's not a debating point. The question is live. Please resume your seat. Minister.
She was only halfway through it. Yeah.
So, order. Order. My apologies, Senator Henderson. There's been so much disruption that I was confused. I thought the minister was answering.
Could I just get some clarification? Could I start the question again?
Yes, certainly.
And start the clock at the top?
Yep.
Thank you. I again refer to the Treasurer's statement that you will be making sure that spending is about building value, not buying votes. In light of this, will the government be honouring its pre-election promise to spend $11,000 painting a mural at the Kingsway markets, announced in the now Labor electorate of Pearce just 7 days before the election?
Minister.
President, and thank you,
Minister. Please resume your seat. Order. Order. Senator Birmingham, Senator Wong. Order. Senator Henderson has asked a question to which the minister rose, and she's entitled to give her response in silence. Minister.
Thank you, President. Well, as I said, the answer is the same as the previous answer in that where we have made election commitments, we intend to deliver upon those election commitments. We are ensuring, well, we are building value. We are building value, and all of those community programs that
Order. Minister, please continue. I believe the minister is still continuing.
Thank you. We made a range of commitments across a number of electorates around small community programs and sporting infrastructure programs. They were detailed and outlined ahead of the election and in our election costings. They are modest and they are important to local communities, and it stands in stark contrast to the approach that those opposite took when you embezzled funds from the car park rorts, remember that? Established, told everyone it was eligible, you were eligible for them, and then put it in their own...
Your time has expired. Senator Henderson, second supplementary.
Thank you, Madam President. From frog bogs to murals, sandpits, splash parks or even a wall of friendship. Can the minister confirm
Senator Henderson, please resume your seat. Did you have a point of order, Senator Wong? Order. 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 Senator Henderson, please continue.
Thank you very much, Madam President.
Senator
Madam
Wong.
President, I'm sorry. Senator Wong is making...
Order.
On a point of order, Madam President, Senator Wong is making disparaging comments across the table about me continuously. Could I ask you to ask her to cease this behaviour?
Senator Henderson, there is so much noise in the chamber, it is impossible for me to hear. But if Senator Wong would like to, please resume your seat. If Senator Wong would like to consider the comments she made, which I did not hear, and withdraw them if necessary. Thank you.
Are you asking me to withdraw my comment that you've lost Corangamite twice? Is that what I'm asked to withdraw? I don't understand. I'm always happy. I think people know in this place. I'm always happy to withdraw if it assists the chamber.
Thank you.
Senator Henderson, you don't have the call.
What am I being asked to withdraw, Senator? What, that you lost Corangamite twice?
Senator Wong.
That's what you want me?
Senator Wong. Order.
It's a fact. I'm not sure why I'm supposed to withdraw it, but if it assists, I withdraw.
Senator Henderson, please continue.
From frog bogs to murals, sandpits and the wall of friendship, can the minister confirm that, contrary to the Treasurer's lofty statement about not buying votes, the Albanese government went on a massive pre-election vote-buying spree across Labor and marginal electorates?
Thank you. Order on my right. Order. Order. Minister. Senator Marielle Smith. Order on my right. Minister.
Have the call?
Order. Minister, please.
Thank you. The first point I'd make, President, is I will not be lectured about buying votes from a former government that spent 9 years and billions of dollars doing exactly that in every single budget, where we made local commitments, important community investments in local infrastructure and sport that was supported by local communities at the election. Very modest program. We made those commitments before the election. In case you didn't notice, we won the election, and we will be delivering on those election commitments in full. In full.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Waters.
Thanks very much, President. My question is to the Minister for Women, also representing the Minister for Health, Minister Gallagher. Polling released today by Fair Agenda confirms that there's strong public support for improving abortion access, with 72% of Australians agreeing that governments should make abortions more readily accessible. Fair Agenda, Marie Stopes and Children by Choice have all proposed solutions, including expanding Medicare coverage, nurse-led abortion care and better access to long-acting reversible contraceptives. Will the Health Minister support including medical and surgical abortions as an MBS item number to ensure that no one is denied the procedure because they can't afford it?
Thank you, Senator Waters. Minister.
Thank you, President. I thank Senator Waters for her question on this very important subject. In terms of the work that is underway at the moment, and this is work that the Assistant Minister for Health, Minister Kearney, will be doing alongside the Minister for Health, is looking at essentially access to health services for women and putting together a plan around that. And I've had some discussions with her already about this. We also had discussions at the first meeting of women's and women's safety ministers a fortnight ago, where there was some discussion about looking at whether legislation that regulates access to termination of pregnancy services around states and territories could be aligned better, harmonised, and that's work that we'll leave to the states and territories, as that's the appropriate place. But I did say that access to health services is really important to the Albanese government, making sure that we are looking at areas particularly for women living in rural and remote communities who have less access to termination of pregnancy services, in some cases no access, and those issues will be discussed and examined through the work that the Assistant Minister for Health will be doing. So I'm not in a position to answer your question directly, but the answer I give you is that there is work underway, consultations that will happen at the appropriate level, and then we'll go through a further process around that.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Waters, first supplementary.
Thanks, President. The polling also showed that 69% of Australians agree that the government should address barriers to access in rural and regional areas. As few as 1% of GPs in rural and regional areas are currently registered to prescribe medical abortions. What is the government doing to increase the number of GPs who are able to prescribe medical abortions? And do you support nurse-led models of care to increase access?
Thank you, Senator Waters. Minister.
Thank you, President, and I think those really are questions that will come up through the stakeholder consultations that Minister Carney will undertake. So again, it is too early for me to answer that question directly, but we are the work where it'll intersect with my work is around the National Gender Equality Strategy, and women's health will be a focus of that as well. So there is essentially we are doing further work. Both on the gender equality strategy and the work that Minister Carney is dealing with in terms of access to health services, and further consultations will be held. I know this is an issue that has been raised with me, and it's appropriate that we allow those discussions to happen.
Thank you, Minister. Second supplementary, Senator Waters.
Thank you, President. Research released today also shows an increase in women being subjected to reproductive coercion, including from partners or from counsellors that they seek pregnancy advice from. Will the government address reproductive coercion in the new National Plan to End Violence Against Women and Their Children and take action to ensure that all pregnancy counselling is unbiased?
Thank you, Senator Waters. Minister.
Well, the issue of coercion is dealt with in the National Plan. So, I would have to go back and check. We're currently in the process, or Minister Rishworth is leading that work and finalising the details of that plan after our meeting with state and territory ministers. But the broader issue of coercive control is absolutely part of those discussions. And I think part of your question would fall into that area, but I'm happy to take further advice on that and come back to the chamber if I can provide an update.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Polley.
Thank you, Madam President. My question is to the Minister for Tourism, Senator Farrell. Can the Minister provide an update on the condition of the tourism sector and tourism jobs?
Minister Farrell.
Thanks, Senator Polley, an excellent senator from the great state of Tasmania, and always asks very, very good questions. Look,
Senator McKenzie. Senator McKenzie.
You can talk about handouts. Senator
Farrell,
McKenzie.
Address your comments to the chair and not across the chamber.
My apologies, President. I will direct the answer to you. Look, the tourism sector has suffered terribly over the last 2.5 years, and I regret to say a lot of that that suffering was brought about and exacerbated by the actions of the former government. Just one example. Just one example.
Order.
Sorry. Just one example, President. Right when closings and outbreaks were underway in a whole range of key tourist areas, what did this government do? Former government do? It It took away the JobKeeper. Now, the JobKeeper,
Minister, resume your seat. Order. Minister.
No, you should have spent. You should have spent better. You should have.
Minister, please resume your seat. When there's silence, I will go to Senator Henderson, who's on her feet. Senator Henderson.
I would just ask the minister to direct his comments through the chair. Thank you.
I would also ask senators, particularly on my left, to give the minister the respect to which he's entitled to and to listen quietly. Minister, please direct your questions through the chair. Minister of the Crown.
Thank you, President. And I was directing my comments to you following your earlier exhortation. Well, maybe you could have saved some money on not spending $5.5 billion on submarines that never ever got built. But getting back to the topic.
Order. You've got one of your own senators on their feet. Wait for the call, Senator Henderson. Senator Henderson.
That are on their training wheels, but I would again remind them to direct their comments through you.
The minister was doing that. There is a lot of noise on the left-hand side of the chamber. Minister Farrell.
I've continued to direct all of my comments to you, President, just to be clear about that. Now, throughout this period, these tourism operators held on to their businesses, sometimes by the...
Oh, beg your pardon, it's time. Sorry, Senator Farrell. Senator Polley, first supplementary.
Thank you, Minister. It's been 9 long years before I've asked a question that a minister's been able to answer. But how has this...
Order.
How has this...
Order.
That's a bit harsh, Helen.
Order.
How has this workforce and skills shortage led to challenges for tourism businesses and higher costs for consumers?
Minister.
Thank you, President. And I thank Senator Polley for, once again, an excellent question.
Order.
I like all my colleagues. Unlike you, Senator Birmingham.
Senator Farrell.
They just don't like him.
Please continue.
It's going to be a fun question time tomorrow, I can tell you that. President, businesses were forced to let go of staff and they've struggled to get them back. Why is that? Well, unfortunately, throughout this period, while people who really liked working in the tourism sector suddenly found that their employment was no longer secure. Every time there was a lockdown, they lost their job. And so when the labour shortages occurred in other parts of the economy, of course, what was the...
Thank you, Minister. The time has expired. Senator Polley, second supplementary.
What steps are the Albanese Labor government taking to address the mess left by the former government?
Minister Farrell.
Thank you, President. And another excellent question from Senator Polley.
Minister, please resume your seat. Senator Mackenzie.
I am looking for the answer, along with Senator Polley, to probably her last 2 questions. But point of order is I am, having listened very carefully to Senator Polley's supplementary, I don't know how it's related to her first question on Tasmanian tourism. I haven't...
I believe it's relevant. I will just double-check with the clerk. Thank you. I am advised that it is irrelevant as long as Senator Farrell restricts his comments to the tourism area, which he actually has been doing. Minister.
Thank you, President. Look, I know you don't like hearing these answers, but I've got 49 seconds to do it. We are committed, the Labor Party is committed to working with the tourism sector to address these skill shortages. The Albanese government will put real money on the table to support the industry, including money, yes, promises that we took to the last election to support this industry, which you failed to do for the previous.
Minister Farrell. Senator Henderson.
Madam President, you didn't fail to do anything. I would ask the minister to again make his comments through the chair.
Thank you, Senator
and to be
Henderson.
mindful of the error that he's making continually.
The minister is making his comments through the chair. There is a fair amount of order. There is a fair amount of joking going back and forward across the chamber. I believe generally the minister is making his comments through the chair, and I would invite him to continue his remarks.
President, and thank you for that protection. Now, we're prioritising the backlog of migrant working visas to increase labour supply. We're opening up, as Minister Wong previously said, new fee-free TAFE places to skill up workers, and that'll include 45,000 places
Farrell.
across.
Your time has expired. Senator Wong.
I'm tempted, President.